Hello again, back here with Physical Education Distance Learning with Mr. D. Today we're going to be continuing some striking using another sport. We've done some other ones in the past. So today we're going to be using volleyball and some two basic skills that you would use in that game. Okay, so we're going to be doing some bumping and some setting. So to do our bumping, first and foremost, we have to have a good body position. So somehow we have to put our hands together. We can put our hands flat together like this, point them down to the ground. We can intertwine, put one hand inside of the other, matching our thumbs up. Okay, hold your hands in a comfortable position with your arms straight out in front of you so that you create a nice flat surface for the ball to land or bounce off of. Okay, and the area that we're going to be bouncing the ball off of, or bouncing the object off of, is our forearm, which will be between our elbow and our wrist. Not on our hands, not our thumbs, not our wrists, because it is not a very flat area. So if I turn sideways like this, and we hold our arms parallel, then we have a nice flat surface. Then we hold our hands down like about at our belly button region. Okay? When we strike the ball, well, first, some objects you could use to start with, because using balls sometimes can be a little intimidating for some kids. So we're going to be using a balloon of some sort. Could be a Mylar balloon, could be a regular balloon. Okay, that way it floats slowly down after you hit it, and it's soft to the touch for your forearms. Okay, so you choose what you would like to use, all right? And like I said, when we strike the balloon, we have our arms in good position, and our balloon would hit our body right in that region, our forearms. Okay? So maybe you just want to practice a couple times bending our knees, and then tossing it up, making it land softly in that region. So get used to it, getting near our area. We might have to move back or forward a little bit depending on how we toss a balloon in the air. All right, just kind of practicing first, getting in a good position. Remember our ready position, hands out in front, holding them together so our thumbs match and our arms are parallel to each other, so we create a nice flat surface. And our feet are shoulder width apart, and then we bend down, and we're doing more of a shoulder shrug as we hit it. We're not swinging our arms way up high, okay? So just a shoulder shrug to bump the ball or tap the ball back up in the air, okay? So again, we toss it up. We can try first just making it land softly on that region so we get comfortable where that balloon has to land, okay? After we practice that for 3, 4, 5 minutes, getting comfortable with number 1, the body position, and then number 2, the balloon or the object tapping our body on our forearms, then we can try and bump it in the air. So we'll just try a pattern. We'll call it toss, bump, catch. Toss, bump, catch. So we toss the balloon up, we gently bump it and catch it. Okay, toss, gently bump, catch. Toss, bump, catch. Right? Toss, bump, catch. So we're not trying to hit it very hard at all. We're just getting used to where it's supposed to hit us on our body or strike us on our body. Toss, bump, catch. Okay? Toss, bump, catch. After we've done that for a little bit, getting comfortable with bumping it and having some control, which means it's not just going way over to the right, going way over to the left, or way forward, but rather more straight up so we have control. Then we can try and bump it 2 times in a row. Okay? So trying to control it to yourself. Toss, bump, bump, catch. Toss, bump, bump, catch. Notice how as I'm striking it, my arms are not swinging way up, but rather just kind of shrugging my shoulders to hit it with very little movement of my hands. So my hands start like at my belly button, maybe get as high as my chest at the maximum. So try it again. Toss, bump, bump, catch. Toss, bump, bump, catch. Okay? If we have really low ceilings, you can try this on your knees. Make sure we have plenty of room. Toss, bump, bump, catch. Okay? And then try and proceed from there. Maybe go up to 3 bumps. And then maybe just try and see how many times in a row you can go and practice that for about 3 to 5 minutes and see what's the maximum amount you can bump it consecutively without having to move more than, let's say, a step and not hit the ground. You must stay in the air and strike off of your forearms repeatedly or consecutively. All right? So that would be our bumping a volleyball or bumping a balloon, right? So practice that, get comfortable with having that ball going up in the air and coming down, because sometimes that can be intimidating for beginning players with a volleyball, because the ball moves much faster and can irritate the skin when it hits your forearms, right? And then next, we will do some setting, which again is another striking motion, but this time instead of using your forearms in volleyball, you use your, what I call your finger pads. So your finger pads are not the tips of your fingers, but rather the pads of your fingers. We're not going to use our palms, and we're not going to strike it with our whole hand, but rather just our finger pads. See how I'm touching them together? That's what should be your setting tool. All right? So similar to when we did bumping, we'll show you how it stopped in the air, how only my finger pads are touching the object. Okay? Only my fingers are touching the object. And the object should be almost over my head. So if I let go of the balloon, it would hit me like right in the forehead. And that's where we want to set from, right in that angle. When we set it, we should have our elbows bent, our knees bent, so we get all of our strength from our arms and our legs. So we push up to the sky. And that way, the object would go up and over. Starting with the balloon, so again, it moves slower, but also making sure on this one, you will probably need to be on your knees unless you have some really high ceilings. We're not trying to see how high we can hit it up, but rather getting comfortable with tapping the ball with our finger pads. Tapping the ball with our finger pads. Okay? So if I start, I'm just going to try and catch it on my finger pads over my forehead. So I would toss and catch. See that? Make it land softly on your finger pads. Toss, catch. Remember, up over my forehead. Toss and catch. Okay, we don't want it way down here to push it. We need it up over our forehead. Right? So toss and catch. Right? After we've practiced that for a few minutes, getting comfortable with watching it come down over our head and being in a good position, then what I want you to do is we'll say toss, catch, bend, push. Toss, catch, bend our elbows, because that's what we do to set it, and push it. Toss, catch, bend, push. Toss, catch, bend, push. Right? Getting comfortable with that balloon or that object coming towards your face. Right? So try that for a few minutes, getting comfortable with those 3 things. Toss, catch it on your finger pads, bend your elbows, and then push it softly up in the air. We're not going to push it hard, push it softly so we get the motion down. It should be straight up, like you're trying to push open some doors. See how my hands go up and out. Leading with my finger pads, up and out. Okay? Then what we're trying to do is try and tap it. But now, instead of trying to catch it with our arms extended, we want to tap it right as we bend our elbows. As the balloon lands on our fingers, then we're going to tap it, pushing upwards. Okay? So we toss, bend, tap, catch. Toss, bend, tap, catch. But notice how I'm not hitting it very hard. Notice the key word is tap, so it's something soft. Toss. Oops, gotta have a good toss. Toss it right over the top of your head. It's gonna land on your forehead. Push, catch. Toss, tap, push, catch. Trying to use only your finger pads. Do not swat at the ball with your palms. Okay? The striking motion is on your finger pads. That's what you should strike the balloon with. So toss, set, catch, toss, tap, catch, toss, tap, catch. Okay? So the two skills I'd like you to work on today: bumping and setting.